Hello and welcome to Flashback Generations.
Hi.
Today, Pete and I will be walking the paths of Middle-earth. Of course, that means we'll be going to Lord of the Rings, the living card game.
The game's contents.
As a non-spoiler, I guess, it's full of cards, this game.
Living cards, yeah.
Living card game, meaning it comes out in packs and you keep on collecting it over and over again.
Yeah.
So,
Cards.
Here you're just going to see cards.
Dividers not included, Size provided those himself.
Yeah.
You do also get a few of these things, the counters.
So that's a Doom tracker.
Doom, yes, yeah. So Doom.
Every character has got its own Doom tracker. But literally, it's got lovely artwork. Every card has got its own very unique artwork with all of the things that actually make the game.
Oh yeah, they did some mini works about each one, similar to like magic cards or something. They've all got a lovely little picture on, depicting what's going on.
More so maybe a lot of the cards actually kind of explain what's happening. It's all very in theme with Lord of the Rings, obviously, but the cards actually are half the reason why you should love this game.
Yeah.
Content-wise, I think you get about 150, 200 cards, I think, with the base box, but then every time you buy a new pack, it'll have 60 in it. It's not a CCG, which means that you just get random cards and you open it up and hey, I got the best card. So this game's all about, doing combos and stuff.
Yeah.
Sure, let's talk about the rules.
The game rules.
Apologies about the sound of rain. Nothing we can really do about it, so we'll just crash on. Hopefully it doesn't get worse.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's talk about the rules. So the rules for this game are, like all FFG games, really well thought out and constructed. It was probably one of the... It's the longest going FFG game to date, and it's a very, very precise rule set, and it really kind of set the tone for how they made all their more modern games.
Yeah. Very structured.
It's not an easy game to read the rule book, to be honest. I found it's actually a little bit,
yeah, it takes a couple of read-throughs, doesn't it, to get your head around it.
So if you know someone who knows how to play it, it's worth going and playing once with them, coming to grasp of what's going on, and then reading it through and understanding how to play. But Pete, do you want to walk through it?
Yeah, so the basic thing is you've got 3 heroes. I've got Elrond, Galadriel and Celeborn. So they're your 3 heroes. You've got a mission that you're trying to do, a scenario. That's represented by a very small stack of cards here. So you'll start the mission, you'll pick up the first one, read the fluff, and it'll tell you to do something. This is the enemy deck, where encounters and enemies come out. And sometimes locations will pop up that you can travel to, and they're kind of an obstacle in your way, aren't they?
They can be an obstacle, but these cards at the same time, like these enemy cards come out, it could be the objective, it could be coming out and be a magic sword for you. They're very set decks. At the start of the mission, these mission cards will tell you what decks you need to be, what enemy decks are in there.
It's all preset. So this deck is a specific enemy deck, or a mixture of 2.
The game's also clever that it doesn't really allow you to just keep on using the same deck and the same tactic, because your mission can be completely different.
Yeah.
From mission to mission, it might be a protection mission. It might be something you need to quest a lot. It might be something you need to get somewhere very quickly. So your band of heroes does change from game to game. You can't just use the most powerful deck. It's not Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, it won't suit every situation. So the basic flow of play is you put every hero earns a resource every turn. You can spend that. You've got a hand of cards which you draw from the player deck. The cards are things like effects and allies. You can
items.
You can play an ally. What you're trying to do is you're trying to build up these on the quest, and when you reach the prerequisite number, you flip the card and move through the quest that way. Mm-hmm. Each turn though, you'll be taking I can't remember how the threat works quite, but
it's you're going to have people that try to oppose it. You're basically guessing a number that's going to come out. So the enemy cards, you've got threat, their attack value, their defense value, and their lives. So and then like their special rules and what they do, which is a massive big deal.
That's it.
So the threat will all add up. So
yeah, this location's got a threat of 4. This enemy who's floating around in the staging area is a threat of 3, and he's a threat of 1. So what you have to do is you commit your heroes to quests.
Yeah.
Then you draw a couple of bad cards that might be good. And
depending on how many players are there as well, that's where the variables come in.
So you might say, right, this guy's got 3 questing points, she's got 4, I'm going to put those in, that's a questing value of 7.
Mm-hmm.
Then we do 2 events from the enemy deck, which may increase, oh no, another bad guy, sort of thing. Don't know what he's doing in there, ignore that one. So a bad guy will come out, and then you add up the threat. So the location's got threat 4, that's got 3, oh dear, we're at 7 already.
That's an ally objective.
And these, imagine that's a bad guy.
The 2 of them are.
So I quested 7, but the overall threat that's out there now is 9. So my threat will go up by 2.
Yeah.
And if that threat reaches, is it 50?
Up to 50, yeah.
50. If it reaches 50, I'm out threated and all my heroes collapse on the floor.
You lose.
Quivering, and we lose.
Another way to lose.
If I beat the threat, you can put progress on the quest. That's the basic mechanic, isn't it?
Yep.
Then you have a bit of a fight. Enemies will check, and they'll engage you, and then you can block them with allies and stuff like that. And then wounds might be done on your heroes or on your allies and on the bad guys, and that's the general flow of it. Quite complicated at first to get your head around it, unless you're into these things.
Your heroes cards as well. I'll put a hero card there so you can see it. But like your heroes as well have a cost, so that's on the top, and then followed by your questing value, your attack, defense, and lives, and then their ability. You can always tell that they're unique with that little circle, and that they're a hero, and what sphere of influence they belong to, because there's 4 spheres.
Yeah, 4 flavours.
So to make it more complex, this deck that you've created, that has to be the coinage that you're using. These has to refer to the influence sphere as well.
The Galadriel's a blue hero, and so all her resources can be only used on blue cards, sort of thing.
Exactly.
Bit of flavours of magic there, a little bit, isn't it?
Very. It's very in depth. It's a very smart game.
It is, because the magic of it is the
quest.
The quest and the bespoke decks for the quest. Like the one I always remember is spoiler alert. There's one down in the mines of Moria, and it's not this. It doesn't play the same. So normally the enemies come out and then they'll look round and attack a certain player. But in the Mines of Moria quest, there was a mechanism that came out of the deck that made that they didn't attack. They just build up more and more and more. And there's all these goblins building up in the staging area who wouldn't attack us. And then at a predetermined point, they jump us. It's an ambush type situation. It's very fluffy the way they tell the story through the cards.
There's a lot of times that you'll have to replay a mission because you don't realise that
you don't get the mechanic. And you're like, oh, and it totally catches you by surprise. There's ones where you're carrying something like a hot potato item. It might be a curse of
all
some
the time.
Or you're trying to escort somebody. A sort of NPC you're trying to escort and keep alive, and all sorts of clever little mechanics. So the magic of the game is in these decks. Some of them are standard decks that get added in, sort of like Mirkwood decks or whatever, and some of them are very tricksy, bespoke decks that will be combined with other decks to make up the deck for the particular scenario. So that's the basic flow of it, isn't it?
Great. Let's talk about the future of the game.
The game's future.
I mentioned earlier that this game is one of the longest running FFG games, and it really shows. It's got far too many expansions, to be honest.
Well, yeah, the core box is big. And then they bring out one of these.
And then each one of them has.
And then they bring out
5 of these.
5 of those, yeah. So that's about what, 20 quid? 15, 20 quid?
25, I think.
Yeah. They're about 8 quid each, tenner each.
Yeah.
But that's been going on for what, 6, 7, 8 years now?
I think we're hitting 10.
10, right, okay. So
yeah, we're going up to 10. There's a lot of them, and as well as that, they also bridged it in half because they actually have the living card game, and now you also have the what's it called? The one with the actual storyline. So you can go, and the Hobbit as well. So you can actually do the one with the actual legacy heroes.
Right. Yeah. There's a couple of expansions set in the Hobbit time, isn't there? Yeah.
The Hobbit time and the Lord of the Rings time. So as opposed to these, which are just going on separate adventures. So I feel like I feel like it's a very difficult game to
Oh, it's
for a
talking
new
hundreds
player.
of pounds if you have nothing and you buy, if you can get hold of everything, because things disappear.
I don't know how a new player can get into it.
We can buy the core set and just buy expansions, but you're going to be struggling for all the cards you're going to need. Like there's a certain deck, there's like a dwarf deck that you've built. That other people have. You'd be struggling to find all those cards you need to do that. I'm not sure if you need, any deck. You should be able to. It's the 4 colours, isn't it? It's 4 colours.
This is a bit of a collector's nightmare, I think, at the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit too big and expensive. Well, I've owned this for...
And some of it's become rare, so the eBay prices have gone crazy.
I think I've owned this for 4 years now. And I found that we've got about halfway through the missions. But we're finding it very hard to just keep on going. And it's a great game, but when you start losing missions over and over again, it's a hard game to just justify, just come back and play it again. Because it's not fun in a way. It can be very frustrating.
It's quite tough in places, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and the frustrating missions are annoying because you feel like you get stuck, and it's like getting stuck in a level of a game that you just, if you get stuck there long enough, it just isn't fun, and then you don't know what to do with it because you feel like, well, I can't just ignore that and keep on playing because you feel like you need that part to be complete. I'm a completionist myself, so I know that I can't just move on. I mean, personally, we're up to a stage now where it's just getting very difficult, and you feel a bit burnt in a way, like just from losing too many times. Anyway.
It gets boring doing the same old mission over and over because you can't get past it.
Exactly. It's still great, like to actually bring out a deck and actually have a good idea about what you're going to do, but you have to be very in the frame of mind that you want to do that. And there's certain players that just don't like doing that. So this game isn't for everyone, like by a long shot.
Yeah. But it is good. I like the storytelling mechanic, that they built into the cards. It's very clever how they do that. Like this chase scenarios and find and seek, hide and seek scenarios, all sorts of things. They made that work very well.
Yeah.
Surprised me, that did.
I think it's a really good game. I don't know how we could encourage newer players. I think that's probably its biggest fallback, that it doesn't have a...
It's kind of a subscriber model, isn't it? The people who are buying the expansion still are people who bought the core set several years ago.
But surely...
They're not looking for new
players.
Surely
it must be dwindling off. And
people will eventually give up, but they're banking on the die-hard completionist nature of gamers. A lot of us are like that, aren't we?
Oh, God, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, because I did buy it and I bought the first few, and I was late to the party, so I had to pay through the nose for some of the early expansions because they were missing. They were very rare. And I bought a few, but nowhere near as many as Sai, and I've kind of gone, no, I'll draw the line now. This is like, I'm going to say the set's complete and leave it there.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people have probably done the same. Okay, so overall, I think we both really like the game, but it's a shame that it's not a bigger draw or an easier way to just collect it.
It's the model, isn't it? It's just the model. Keep buying our stuff. Keep buying it.
Well, all right. Well, we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Cheerio.
Today, Pete and I are going to be talking about... we're going to be walking the paths of Middle-earth.